Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Perseverance Mindset Podcast. We're recording live once again from the famous Dialogue Den. I am your host, as you know me, John Zadzura, and to all of our loyal listeners, followers, and subscribers, thank you. You know who you are. So today's episode isn't just a podcast, it's a tribute. June 6th marks the anniversary of one of the most important days of our country and in military history. The largest amphibious military operation in history, arguably the most crucial turning point of World War II. In this episode, we will journey back to 1944 to the beaches of Normandy and reflect on the blood, the bravery, and the sacrifice and brotherhood that shaped the free world to defeat Hitler, the Axis powers, and the Nazi Party. We honor those who gave their lives, remember the machinery that brought them to battle, and we hear the words of leaders whose resolve carried nations. This is our D-Day honoring episode and why it still matters today. So it was the morning of June 6th, 1944. Over 156,000 Allied troops, Americans, British, Canadians, and others landed on 5 beaches along a 50-mile stretch of heavily fortified coast of France's Normandy region. The mission? To break Hitler's Atlantic Wall and begin the liberation of Western Europe. For months, Allied forces trained in secrecy Operation Bodyguard, fed the Nazis information. Weather delays nearly scrubbed the whole launch, scrubbed it completely. All that planning could have gone to waste. But when the green light came, Eisenhower gave the order to go. And I want to talk about this because General Eisenhower, the supreme commander at the time of World War II, gave a speech, gave a inspiring speech that I'm going to read to all of our Perseverance pioneers today. If this is the first time you heard, it's going to be quite remarkable because it's basically motivation and it's leading the troops into battle during the times of when many soldiers didn't know what fate on the other side of that boat hitting those beaches, many knowing they would possibly not come back, and many lives were lost that day. So here is Dwight D. Eisenhower's address to the troops before the battle and the invasion of Normandy. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark on the great crusade toward which we have striven for these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere are with you. In company with our brave allies, brothers in arms, and other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny, and security for ourselves and in a free world. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck. Let us beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking. These weren't just orders. They were a call to courage, a reminder of the stakes of the outcome of this conflict, and a message from a leader who knew the cost of failure. Now let's break down the incredible hardware that powered this invasion that day. Tanks like the Sherman DD, duplex drive, amphibious tanks that swarmed to the shore under fire that day. We talk about all the landing craft. The Higgins boat, a steel-rammed vessel made in New Orleans, brought thousands of troops directly onto enemy sands to those beaches. Trucks like the GMC CCKW Deuce and Half, hauling gear and wounded soldiers to safety and also to the front. Aircraft, the C-7 Skytrain dropped paratroopers behind enemy lines while bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress softened the coastal defenses by bombing the beaches. Gliders carrying soldiers silently into battle with no engines were part of the airborne strategy. The scale of coordination was so massive, more than 11,000 aircrafts, more than 5,000 ships, and on the front lines, flesh and blood of 18-year-olds with rifle and steel nerves. So let's not sugarcoat it. The human cost of this war and conflict was staggering, completely staggering. On D-Day alone, more than 1,400 Allied soldiers were killed in action. Over 9,000 were wounded or missing. Entire units were decimated within minutes of hitting those beaches. On Omaha Beach, American forces took some of the worst fire with machine guns pouring down from cliffs strategically placed there by the German military. Some soldiers drowned before even reaching land to fight. I can't think of anything that shows the bravery and courage of our forces in our country more than that. British forces at Sword and Gold Beaches and Canadian troops at Juno also faced fierce resistance, but secured their objectives by the end of the day. These were sons, brothers, fathers. Their sacrifice was not just for their country, but for the idea of securing freedom itself for the entire world in 1944. So why does D-Day still matter today? Because it wasn't just a battle, it was a declaration that tyranny in the world would not stand, that unity among nations could defeat fascism, that ordinary citizens could do extraordinary things through acts of bravery, courage, selflessness for their country. D-Day helped bring down the Nazi German war machine, bring down Hitler. It showed a strength of alliances. It gave the world hope that liberty could triumph over evil. The beaches of Normandy remained, and to this day, hallowed ground, a pilgrimage for presidents, veterans, descendants. The graves at the American Cemetery in Colville, upon the row of white crosses, remind us that freedom is never free. Freedom is never free. There is a cost, and it's American blood, American courage, and American grit. And again, these weren't statistics. These were sons, these were daughters, these were farmers, these were clerks. These were everyday people standing up to fight for their country and for your liberty, for the free world. In a time today when the world feels so fractured, when division creeps into every corner of our society, D-Day still reminds us of what's possible when we unite under a cause bigger than ourselves. Whether you're in politics, business, a personal struggle you've been enduring for a long time, think of those soldiers who stormed those beaches. Ask yourself for just one moment, what am I willing to fight for? What sacrifice am I prepared to make for the good of others? Freedom isn't free, it's earned, and it's our duty to preserve it, just like those brave men who stormed those beaches, facing those machine guns, facing all those obstacles, some getting killed, never even making it to the beach to fight for their country. So in this day, in remembrance of D-Day, we thank all those men who stormed those beaches to give us all of our freedoms. And everyone here at the Perseverance Mindset Podcast and myself thanks them for their sacrifice, them for their bravery, them for their selflessness. We should be grateful that such men lived to preserve our way of life. Thank you for joining me today, live from the Dialogue Den on the Perseverance Mindset Podcast. To those who served, who gave everything, we remember you, we honor you, and we cherish your memory. We strive to be worthy of your sacrifice. So until next time, keep pressing forward, keep standing for freedom, and never forget the legacy of June 6, 1944. This is John Zedzera signing off.